The last time I saw Two'sThe in Carver Hawkeye Arena, I watched through bloodshot eyes as Caitlin Clark and her teammates trudged through a messy matchup against a West Virginia team that was playing well above their weight class with nothing to lose and everything to prove. While I don't really remember the ins and outs of that game in their entirety, I do remember that I was 3 months, almost to the day, into figuring out how to manage Two'sThe and that it felt like I had just played West Virginia every night since Christmas. But going into Sunday afternoon's matchup with Two'sThe, things were much different for the Iowa women's basketball program and myself. Instead of watching alone on my phone in a dark room with an infant sleeping in my arms and a monitor within earshot, I got to watch yet another all-time victory with two real humans with feelings and interests and imaginations and hopes and dreams. And instead of shooting her way to 3 points, we got to watch Lucy Olsen live up to her billing and shoot her way to 3 out of her own. Instead of Bluder's bunt fighting for one more day, Jan's Jubilee, in workshopping here, put together a season-altering win that could kickstart one of the most epic runs back to the NCAA tournament. As of this writing, the Hawks are part of Bracketology's last four-in. And the best part? Those two little girls who unbeknownst to them were watching the West Virginia game with me, were actually invested with me this time around. Raid, my 3-month-year-old, couldn't believe how many people on tour were wearing the same number she was wearing. They all are wearing yellow tutus like me, Daddy, and the more she watched the more things she noticed and asked about. Where's Iowa? That's where Mommy and Daddy went to school. What do I say again? Go Hawks! Yes, she sounds like Mayor of Easttown already. Mego, the now 1-year-old, got on her knees and bounced and screamed every time I shot up in excitement and clapped when I clapped. It was special. I wrote a bunch last year about how much Caitlin Clark's run meant to me as a new father of 2 girls. I probably made you all earroll several times, some maybe even dry-heaved from the sappiness. But I still get goosebumps just thinking about it all, and yesterday was no exception as I sat there staring at these 2 perfect, innocent little girls get excited about something that excited me. There wasn't much of that going around this football season, and Lord knows basketball season has been a slog. Caitlin didn't even have to be on the court for that magic to happen this time. Just having her back in the building was the tide that lifted all boats. Everyone in Carver Hawkeye Arena was playing and cheering for something more. Everyone was ready to put on a show. Everyone was ready to breathe some life back in this program that a lot of us were assuming might be on life support. You know you did. And 2 little girls watching their dad watch something he loved, not us. This ceremony was for all that could was and did and stands for when it comes to this university and program. But in the end, it was also for all of Iowa and for the national audience that tuned into Fox on a boring, footballless Sunday afternoon that wanted to pay tribute to the old guard and see what the new one was all about. Unfortunately, instead of seeing Juju go off, they saw an underrated Olsen do it in her stead, and it just so turns out that this celebration was exactly what Iowa needed. We needed a little reminder of who we are, what type of basketball we like to play, and what can happen when we do. A reminder that Carver can still freaking rock and back the shit out of a respectable program. A reminder that Jan can get this done and knows what she's doing. A reminder that Iowa still loves their basketball. A new page has officially been turned now, and Two'sThe will forever be immortalized as a shining light hanging there in the rafters to remind everyone that comes into that arena of what's possible if you just believe you can do any goddamn thing you want. Two'sThe is literally now the ceiling, and I know that there will never ever be another Caitlin Clark. But I will guarantee you one thing: after watching that game yesterday, there may just be a little redhead or blonde that ultimately decides to take their talents to Iowa City to push the Hawkeyes to the brink once again. And they will be doing it because of those yellow tutus.